Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Comics Evolve, where we discuss all things around comics media culture with your hosts, Andy, Jarian, and Alex.
Welcome to Comics Evolve, myself, Andy Stead.
And I'm Jarian Gibson.
And I'm Alex Stroud.
And here we are live again, guys. And all three of us back together. Alex, how are you, my friend? I haven't seen you for a week or so. I know you was busy the other week with some bits and pieces, but it's good to have you back. How are we?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been reading Flashpoint, so, been excited to jump back into that again. This is like one of my favorite comic book stories ever of all time. So, been really excited to read that before the Flash movie. So,
yeah, doing some research.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't really call it research. I mean, honestly, I feel like if you've seen the movie is a really good, very similar story to the Flashpoint movie, the animated movie, to this. It's not the same, obviously, but it's a very good comparison. And it's cool to reread that because this story wasn't as fresh in my mind. And so like going in and seeing a lot of small details and stuff, rereading it has been nice going into the Flash movie. So
superb. Jarian, how are you?
Doing good, nice weekend, a lot of stuff, dinner on the house, football games, kids football games. So yeah, doing pretty good.
Excellent. Fantastic. So yeah, it's been a decent week, hasn't it? We've had the CinemaCon, which we're going to talk about today. We've got some news and some rumors that sort of came out and then got debunked almost straight away, and other bits and pieces that are hanging on. So without any further ado, let's crack on.
So do you want to do the CinemaCon stuff first, or just general news first?
I'll let you decide.
All right, let's do general news first then. Right off the bat, Deadpool news: Rob Delaney will return as Peter. So
I rewatched Deadpool 2 last night. It was just on, so I'd stuck it on. And yeah, Peter's great, isn't he? And he goes at the back, he tells him to go home. At the end credits, just go home. Just no X-Force, just go home. So obviously he's going to go and see him again.
He has the greatest line in that movie when he says, "I don't know who this Cable fella is, but I'm sure he hasn't killed as many people as Melanoma has." And he starts putting on like sunscreen and stuff like that. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I love Peter. I thought he was brilliant. He was a great little character. So yeah, good to see him again.
I wonder if we're going to get any more of the X-Force team back as well. Something good to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse news: Andy Samberg and Jorma Taccone are voicing characters, confirmed by the Lonely Island Instagram account. If you don't know who they are the group Lonely Island. Andy Samberg's been in a lot of movies, even other stuff as well, TV shows.
Was he the Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes, he's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He was in have you ever seen that one video, that one movie called Never Stop, Never Stoppin', where it's like a spoof on like the whole like pop and singing, and it's kind of a spoof on that. But they have albums too as well, the Lonely Island. So they're gonna be. He's in that commercial with Snoop Dogg, where Snoop Dogg's like, "Stop rapping," he's in that commercial. He's out there. They're both in it. Rumor is that he's voicing Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider, is who it is. Not confirmed, but that's the rumor.
Cool.
That's interesting.
I did hear, I don't know if this is one of your rumors, that there's lots of cameos and things that not even the cast know about.
Yep. That was something I think we talked about previously, that there's all kinds of stuff with Spider-Verse going on that, they don't know about the cameos. They don't know who else is going to show up. And then this news came out about Samberg. So I'm betting there's going to be more on top of him. That'll be cameos and things happening. So
awesome.
Also to do with the Spider-Verse, there is going to be a short called The Spider Within. It's a Spider-Verse short film. It's going to follow Miles Morales as he experiences a panic attack, which forces him to confront the manifestations of his anxiety and learn that reaching out for help can be just as brave an act as protecting his city from evil. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, sure. I think that's that vulnerable side of superheroes where they show their weaknesses is really interesting, isn't it? Because usually we see them brave and the first one in and all of that, but when they ask for help, it just goes to show that okay, they might be superhuman, but they are still humans.
Yep.
Definitely.
Quantumania will be on Disney Plus on May 17th. So in 16 more days, you can enjoy all the goodness of Quantumania again, and again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this again. Actually, I was tempted to go and see it again in the cinema, but time just ran away with me. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing this again at home, and stopping and rewinding and checking some bits back, because there was lots going on in the background in that feature, wasn't there? Especially in the quantum realm, with some of the characters, some of the freedom fighters, lots of different things. So it would be nice to sort of have a real in-depth look at that.
Yeah,
and I was just gonna say, I feel like I had like really huge expectations for that, and I feel like a lot of people like were disappointed, but I really enjoyed that movie. I actually didn't think it was like as bad as a lot of people have like said it was. And yeah, I mean, I feel like it's got a lot of rewatch value. It's a fun movie, like it's enjoyable to rewatch that movie. I would assume. I mean, I've only seen it one time, but I'm saying like I plan on rewatching this movie again, like when it's on Disney Plus. So
And I think that's the tell, isn't it? How good a movie is, how many times you can rewatch it. And obviously, the first rewatch, that's the experiment, isn't it? Like, can I rewatch this again?
Yep.
And then after that first rewatch, I think that then is all the evidence you need as to whether you're going to watch it after that any more times. I've got plenty of movies you kind of go, I'm going to watch that again, and you watch it again, you go, yeah, I probably won't bother again. Or the opposite, you're like, oh yeah, if that comes on, I'm gonna definitely switch it on.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a really enjoyable film. I'm looking forward to seeing what other Easter eggs that I can spot or see in the film as well, because I think there's more that I didn't catch on first watch, and also too, I still think the ending's it's all a trick.
Yeah, it'd be nice to watch that ending again with that in mind, knowing and thinking, is this a trick?
Yeah,
it's like a false win almost, like I mean, that's what they should do though. They should have him just kind of just like linger out there and maybe come back one day,
And now to the big news of the week. So I'm going to kind of do the air horn here. But the big news of the week here is Fantastic Four rumors. So this week has been hot with rumors. The first one was that Mila Kunis is in talks for a role, but not Sue Storm. So when this first came out, I was like, well, who else could she be besides Sue Storm? Could she be Herbie? Could she be Shala Ball, which is tied to the Silver Surfer? Or could she be Alicia Masters, the Puppet Master's niece, and tied to Ben Grimm? But when the reports first came out, it was for The Thing. So that's interesting, seeing that the news was that, they were looking for both male and female actors are being considered for the role. Both male and female Jewish actors are being considered for the role. Now, there was all kinds of crap out there when this came out, and, why couldn't The Thing be a female person? Think about some of the things with The Thing. Feels ugly and rejected at times. The person in the role needs to be tough but sensitive, not concerned about appearance. So a female point of view could bring different perspective to this role if that's the case. Before I move on, what do you guys think though so far?
I hear you. I hear your point. However, the thing for me is a guy. I'm sorry. I understand. I agree with what you said, and you're absolutely right. But for me, the Thing is a guy.
I don't know, like I'm so like caught off guard by this, because when I heard this I was like, man, like Mila Kunis, like I honestly feel like there's so many other Jewish characters that she could play, like Songbird, for example. Polaris, like her father's Magneto, so she could play like Polaris. She could play an older Kitty Pryde and be like a teacher at like the Xavier.
Keep going, Alex. Keep going.
Like I was just like, why would they choose her to be the Thing? So like it's one of those things where like for me, I was kind of like, I don't really think that I would have made this choice if they end up doing that, but that's just me.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of if it happens, it happens, wait and see. But Kunis did, during a recent interview on the Late Late Show, she did address this. And she said, I'm not in Fantastic Four, but I know who is, but I don't want to get in trouble with the mouse. Now, this could be misdirection by her. This could just be her, denying to cool things down. She could be having a totally different role in the film. But right now, she's denying any involvement. She also talked about her meeting with Matt Shackman, too, because that's been brought up a lot. She said, apparently, if you go to lunch with somebody that is also in the industry, you then start working together according to the internet. We went out to a deli and had lunch together, and the next day I'm somehow in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I did see that report. I thought that was quite funny. That's proper, that's journalism all over, isn't it? It's like, wait a minute, they're with them. That must mean they're working together. So she must be in Fantastic Four. Who can we? How can we make this as controversial as possible? She's going to play the thing. There you go, done. That'll get us some clicks.
It reminds me of if you ever watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when Charlie's in the mailroom and doing the Pepe Silva thing and all the things, on the board, and he's got the cigarette in his mouth. He's like crazy eyes. That reminds me of that right there, trying to put all of the things together of connecting the ways that why she's in the movie is because she had lunch with somebody at some point in time. So, so right now it's we'll have to wait and see what it is. I wonder if there's going to be an announcement sometime because there's been a couple rumors about this castings. I'll keep talking about. But is this something that's going to wait till San Diego Comic-Con? Are we going to have some kind of big trade announcement? What do y'all think?
So I just want to say one thing. If we were going to cast somebody right now as the Thing, in my opinion, we've talked about this person before. He beats up a lot of people in movies. Why not do Adam Sandler, like, as the Thing? Like,
his voice,
he's
his
Jewish,
voice too.
and he's Jewish. Like, boom, like, like Adam Sandler, I think would be perfect. Like, and he's funny. Like, and it's like all his comedy is like throw somebody through a window and it's funny. Like, like that's kind of how he's always been. So kind of perfect.
From the chat here, wait, there is a new Fantastic Four movie. Yep, it is on the MCU slate for 2026, I think. I have to double check when it is.
Yeah, hold up.
It's like 2025 or 2026. It's during this multiverse saga phase.
At the moment, we have got it at February the 14th, 2025.
Okay. So there you go.
Hi,
yeah.
How you doing? Anyway, you all right? Good to see you.
But Alex, that's a great one. Adam Sandler will be great. He had the voice, he could bring the tone. I always thought that Seth Rogen could do it. Even Jason Segel as well. Some good options there. And you don't have to necessarily have the same person be Ben Grimm in the Thing. You could have somebody else be Ben Grimm and then have someone else voice the Thing. So reportedly Antonio Banderas is in talks to play Galactus. Not sure if this is a voice or a man in the machine Wizard of Oz like, but there's talks out there that he is in there to play Galactus, and I just keep thinking Puss in Boots. I don't know why. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I love Antonio Banderas. I can't see it myself. I mean, but who knows? Who knows? He's a good actor, so
yeah,
he could potentially do it. I just can't see it.
Yeah, I feel like you almost have to like pair an iconic voice to Galactus, and I'm not sure if his voice is like the iconic one that I was like thinking would be like good for Galactus. Like, but at the same time, it's like with special effects and all kinds of different things. And who knows? Like, he might like completely kill it for all I know.
And he's done voice acting, so
yeah,
he could definitely alter his voice. So. From the chat here, back to the Thing, Ben Grimm. I'm sure Seth Rogen would do it well, to be honest. So there you go. Agrees with that one as well. Now there's another rumor going around about the Human Torch, Johnny Storm. The rumor is that Paul Mescal has been offered the role. I'm really not familiar with him. I know he's been in some videos. He's been in some other films, but I don't know a bunch about him. But this afternoon, they were saying that Johnny Storm role is still in the works. So I'm not sure if this was that he passed on the role after being offered, or if that rumor has been debunked.
Okay. No, I'm not familiar either.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's an important role,
Yeah.
I think that's an important role.
But they've done well with some, not so well actors in some of these roles. Like, I wasn't really know who Tom Holland was before he was Spider-Man, right? Yeah. Before they brought him as Parker. So you can bring some of these characters in and unknown roles, and they can make a nice difference. Even Chris Hemsworth, I didn't know much about him. I think I knew more of his brother than him until he was Thor. So, you can definitely bring some of these up-and-coming actors in for these roles. So there's a rumor that Terex the Tamer could be one of Galactus's heralds in Fantastic Four. If you don't know who Terex is, he's a mutant named Tyros who ruled the planet Burge with an iron fist. So he was kind of took joy in finding plans to destroy for Galactus. He was a good herald. but was not loyal and used his power as the Herald to enslave his own planet. But yeah, and at the end, Galactus took him a power and left him for dead. So that'll be interesting. Herald, maybe start off with Terex, the Tamer. He betrays Galactus. Galactus leaves him for dead, and that's how we get the Surfer in the mix. Interesting to see what they would do with that. So
I would really like to see, like, when Silver Surfer accepts the mantle of being the Herald, like a highlight reel, like he sees all the previous Heralds, like, of Galactus in a quick highlight reel, and then, like, them basically losing the mantle, and then the next one, and then, all the way to him. It'd be kind of cool, I think.
Or maybe even at one point when he's the Herald, that he decides to betray Galactus or try to break free from Galactus, and then he gets that vision beforehand of what happened. Like Galactus, like, look, you want to do this? This is what's going to happen to you, type of thing.
That'd be cool.
So, the biggest rumor though of the day is that Margot Robbie has been offered the role of Sue Storm. So this, and I wonder how this is going to play, because who knows what Harley Quinn, does for, what she's going to do more in that role or not. Also with the Barbie movie, is there anything like that? So interesting to see, but it sounds like the rumor right now this afternoon, just like an hour or two ago, that she's been offered the role.
She's got the look.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the look down. Could she be? She's very maternal, isn't she, Sue Storm? I'm sure she could pull it off.
Yeah, I think it's an odd choice. I mean, I can't really like unsee her as Harley Quinn at this point now.
Yeah.
So like I'm kind of like stuck on that. But I don't know. I mean, like obviously, like she's a great actress. I mean, ultimately, so that would be just one of those things. I feel like I would have to see it to really make a judgment on something like that.
It's similar to the Antonio Banderas thing, isn't it? It's like you're kind of going, look, they're great actors, great actresses. Can't quite see it, but I'm sure that they could do it because they are good at what they do.
Yeah, I agree too as well. And from the chat here, the look, yes, the personality, no. Again, something we'll have to see it, first. Like I have no judgment on it until I actually see her in the role. I could see her pulling some things from like what's some of her roles, like Confidence, or when she was other roles with like reporter like stuff. Maybe she could bring to it. So yeah, the maternal one, I'll have to go and see if she's played any maternal type of roles though. But I think she can pull off the smarts and Sue Storm, and definitely when Sue Storm changes to what's her alter ego for Sue Storm again? The black leather.
Do you know what? I think I've said this before on the show. If there's any section of Marvel that I've got the least knowledge about, it is the Fantastic Four, because I've just never been interested in their stories. I always pick up their stories and I read it and I go, yeah, they're all right, but I just always seem a bit boring to me. But
I'll find it posted to the group. But she has an alter ego where she's like an evil side of her, where she's like black leather and that kind of stuff. And I'll have to go back and look. But she has that. I could see definitely Margot Robbie pulling that side of her off too. So Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Patti LuPone out there talking more stuff now about the project. Confirms the Coven will have musical numbers in Agatha, with songs written by WandaVision, Agatha All Along writers. Our lead singer is Agatha. I'm singing backup, and the songs have been written by Kristen and Bobby Lopez. We are a coven led by the great Catherine Hahn. I am a 450-year-old Sicilian witch, and my power is divination. It's been just great fun. There's no CGI either. What I'm seeing on this show is craft. So that's interesting.
That is an interesting comment, actually. There must be some computer-generated imagery going on.
Yeah, she's probably just seen what she's seen so far, and there probably going to be some touch-up or some stuff. Maybe not the part she's in, but maybe we'll see. Maybe they use more practical effects, for parts of it, and who knows.
I just have this weird feeling that we're going to get like this story of like Agatha and these other witches through the ages over like hundreds of years, but it's all going to be like in a musical format. So they're going to sing every bit of it. And it's going to be like, I'm going to be like, man, I really want to know what's going on, but I just cannot watch this musical, It'd
be like the Simpsons with the Planet of the Apes, when Bart's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm good with musicals. There's some musicals that get me. So, I'll wait and see how it comes out.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Tara Strong, who voices Miss Minutes, is also in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but not as Miss Minutes. She said, well, I might be in it. It's not Miss Minutes. I can't say who it is, or I could, but then I'd have to prune you. I'm going to turn back time with Miss Minutes. So
Could it be Lila?
no, Lila's Linda Cardinelli.
Oh, okay. That's
So
interesting.
yeah,
That's really interesting.
There's obviously going to be lots of different animated and not animated, sorry, CGI characters in this movie, aliens and things. So she could have well done the voice for multiple.
Yep.
She's a good voice actress, isn't she? As we know.
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of Guardians, when are you guys going to go see it this week?
Saturday.
I haven't even bought tickets yet. So I'll probably try and go probably Saturday, I guess, or early Sunday, probably. So
I'll probably go Thursday night or Friday. Usually I go on Fridays with my wife, like kind of like a lunchtime movie. But she has things in her schedule already this week, so I might go Thursday night with myself. So we'll see. But we're gonna have our review next episode. What, Monday? Maybe not Sunday, because Sunday we're not on Sunday again.
No, we'll have to do it Monday next week.
Okay, it's probably same time. Wonder Man. Jeffrey Snyder claimed that actor Josh Gad will be appearing in the MCU. Rumor is it's for Wonder Man. Not sure on the role.
Okay.
So I like Josh Gad too. He plays some pretty funny roles.
Yeah, he's funny. He's a funny guy.
Moving on to non-Marvel news. The Flash. James Gunn confirmed via his Instagram that Keaton's Batman character in the film after the Flash is the big character in the film after the Flash himself when asked why Affleck's Batman isn't on the latest poster. Gunn says he'll wait and see to determine whether Gunn says he'll wait and see whether to determine whether troubled star Ezra Miller will continue playing the Flash in future films. So what this says to me is that how much money is this going to make so we can kind of brush things under the carpet to move forward with Ezra.
Which I think is a weird scenario for that, because they've put Michael Keaton in this movie to try to divert the attention away from Ezra. So, kind of as a draw factor, because everybody loved Michael Keaton as Batman. I mean, that was 30 years ago. So, they need to get rid of him, but Michael Keaton was here to help cushion that blow. So it seems kind of weird for them to depend on how well this movie does with Michael Keaton in it, trying to help benefit Ezra. It seems like a weird kind of loop here.
Yeah, from the chat here, Ezra Miller needs to be gone, and I wonder if this movie hits $1 billion, if that's the target to see.
But I mean, the easy way for them to fix this whole Ezra Miller situation is to just have him, when this movie's over with, fix everything and run into the Speed Force and never come out.
Yeah, be stuck in there.
And just a decade from now, Barry Allen comes running out of the Speed Force, and it's a different actor as the Flash, and everybody wouldn't think twice.
Doesn't need to be a decade. It needs to be the next Flash movie, or next time you see Flash, he comes out and it's somebody else.
But we could have Wally West take over as the new Flash, and Barry Allen gets stuck in the Speed Force, and he resets everything, and then he's just trapped in the Speed Force for a while, and then
More from the chat here. He's one of the biggest creeps ever, and the fact they don't just drop him is shameful. Yeah. So,
I just speaking of recasting people, because there's we speak about recasting quite a lot, don't we? And there's obviously the other big one going on at the moment with Jonathan Majors and how that one might pan out. I really personally, I sit in the camp of, look, if you need to recast somebody, if you need to, let somebody go and get somebody else in, I would assume that, in situations like this, the audience should really be mature enough to be able to understand exactly what's going on and just say, look, this is the new person that's playing this character, and that's it. There are ways, and I guess actually, you're speaking of two characters, like you say, the Flash and Kang, that if anybody could be anybody different, that's a good possibility for them to be different actors, and it wouldn't really matter. But, I think we could treat it with maturity and just go, look, we understand why they've had to let that person go and get somebody new in. Yeah. They ask us to suspend our, disbelief when we're watching these things anyway. So why don't they just go, well, this is the new person that's playing him? It's simple as that, really.
Rhodey, Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
Just have
and
him
for
walk
me,
in, nothing's changed, just move on, keep going.
and for me, I feel like with a speedster, I mean, you have the speed force. I mean, you can literally just have one zip in there and not
Yeah,
come out for a while.
that's it.
So I mean, this is the perfect exit. It's like you don't have to do anything grand here. He just needs to go in and just never come back out, and then recast, and then
Yeah.
he come out like 5 years from now and be like, oh yeah, like the speed force did some things. I mean, it may not make sense, but like the audience will be like, great, like we recast Ezra Miller.
Yeah, let's get on
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So
so.
looks like we have a new person on the chat today, a new follower. So thank you for following us. Says great stream and what's up, guys? So what's up to you? If I followed you, if you can burp. So thanks for joining on the show with us, and thank you for following. Another one from the chat here. It would be not too hard to have him die in the movie and have someone take his role.
That's what I'm saying, pretty
And
much.
to that point, from what I've heard, from the rumors out there, is that the ending is kind of open ended, so they could do anything with the role after this, from what's being talked about out there.
And I think like what Alex just said, that sounds,
Mhm.
Your theory idea there is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And then last comment here about it, like a new Flash being born into the world.
Yeah.
So yep, same thinking. So you're all on the same page here.
Yep.
More DC news. Karen Gillian would like to play Poison Ivy in James Gunn's DCU. I think she'd be perfect fit for it. She could definitely fit that role. It's funny. I was showing my wife a clip of her doing an interview, and she's like, "There's no way that's Nebula," because she's deep, Irish or Scottish accent, and just how she looks. I'm like, yeah, that's her. I'm like, she actually shaved her head too for the first time she played the role. In later roles, she didn't do, but the first time she shaved her head. And my wife's like, I cannot believe that's who plays Nebula. So,
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see her as that. My ultimate fan cast is Emma Stone as Poison Ivy. Like, I just feel like she would kill that role, and Poison Ivy is like one of those that like it's almost like you're not intimidated by her until it's too late, kind of type of thing, like, and then you're just scared to death. So like, it's one of those things. But yeah, I mean, I think she could pull it off. I mean, she's a redhead, so I mean, like, she would kill that. That's check right off the box for Poison Ivy, so.
someone reached here. Emma Stone might be able to pull it off. So, the next thing here is that she says, I've always thought about the Poison Ivy was really fun. So maybe something like that would be cool. Also, another Guardians put their hats in the ring for DCU, and actually they're in talks to play a character. Palm Clementif, who plays Mantis, confirmed she said talks to join the DCU as a specific character and is in progress with James Gunn. Clementif said she knew of the character prior to her talks and thought they were effing cool. So,
cool.
Yeah, you're gonna see all the Guardians eventually, probably in DC.
Yeah, they are. Definitely.
Next one I want to who's always going to play. We already said that Pratt, Booster Gold. Who would Drax? Who'd you guys see Drax in the DC as? Bane? I know there's been some Bane mock-ups of him in fan cast.
Yeah, either that or Killer Croc.
Yeah,
like I would really like to see him as Killer Croc.
I don't see Zoe Saldana getting involved in another big franchise.
Right now.
I think she's probably worn out of it. With obviously with Marvel, with Avatar still going on, and I know she also did Star Trek, didn't she? She played Aurora in Star Trek, so I think she's probably wants to maybe take a step back and maybe do some sort of small, not solo movies, but just a single. No,
kind of like more independent films.
Yeah,
that's the word I was looking for. I was looking for the word independent. Thank you. Yeah,
and Avatar's got what, 2 or 3 more films for Avatar still to come. So unless she dies in one of the upcoming films, she's in there for another 2 to 3 films.
And what was the recent movie with Dave Bautista in it?
The Cabin in the Woods. That's actually a good film. You know what? Yeah, I want to see him play some kind of serial killer type role, because his demeanor, and sometimes when you see him in some of the movies, he would be a great serial killer.
And I'm not sure that Dave Bautista would want to get involved in another big franchise either. Based on that, I think I read somewhere that he said he wanted more serious roles and more. Drax was obviously very silly, wasn't it? The role that was given to him. I think that, I'm sure I read somewhere that he wanted more serious roles. If he gets into DC, is he going to get that serious? I mean, I'm not saying it won't be more serious than Drax. I'm just saying, is it going to be where he wants it to be? I can see Chris Pratt getting involved 100%.
Drax could pull off a mean God. Who was the zombie dude in Batman? Then he follows up with Solomon Grundy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he could do that too.
Yeah, that'd be a great role for him. He could even be Mr. Freeze. Maybe pull up Mr. Freeze. I mean, Arnold did it, so why not Drax, or why not Batista? So I'm trying to think who else could he be in the DC, but yeah, there's some roles he could pull off.
I feel like this is a weird choice for Mr. Freeze, but Michael Rosenbaum is Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
I feel like he could pull that off. And he's been like a voice actor and
he's in Guardians
and stuff like that, and in Guardians and stuff, like he did so many DC voice acting things, so he would be great, I think.
Moving on to Star Wars stuff, Andor Season 2 news. Saul Guerrero, played by Forrest Whitaker, will be in Season 2. In an interview with comicbook.com, Chris Killian, for the upcoming George Foreman biopic, Whitaker was asked if it would be safe to say that Saul Guerrero is returning for the second season of the hit Star Wars series, and he answered with a simple, "Oh yeah, it's safe to say that." So Saul Guerrero is back, it sounds like, for next season of Andor.
Great.
Andy Serkis also talked about the fate of his character, Loy. When he was incarcerated, he then almost sheds any desire to look out for other people apart from himself. Just do his time and get out. To try and get out and just survive the sentence, the torture, the desensitization. I think it was the desensitization that made me perhaps have that slightly lost but kind of hardened and toughened shell, he says.
Yeah, he got himself very institutionalized while he was there, didn't he? He almost didn't want to get out. He'd found himself a little nook and was quite happy sort of being where he was.
Going back to Batista, or going back to DC roles, the guy who played the Headless Horseman in Sleepy Hollow could pull off a good Mr. Freeze. He was from what's his name?
Is that the one with Johnny Depp? Is that the one that we're referring to? Or?
Yeah, Christopher. Is it a Glover?
Christopher Walken?
No, Christopher Glover. I think no. What's his name? I know exactly what you're talking about. He's also in the Charlie's Angel one with
Crispin Glover.
Yeah, Crispin Glover.
Glover.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marty McFly's dad.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a good one too. I could see him pull that off. I could see him pulling off Scarecrow too. Yeah.
Ooh, that would be really good. I like that.
Yeah. Super Mario news. They officially passed $1 billion at the global box office. So amazing. Bring on the Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
Star Fox movie.
I love Star Fox. I love that game. I love that one. I want to see a Punch Out one. That'd be great. Just a Punch Out one.
I have to see a Donkey Kong movie if they're going to do that. That way I can see the Donkey Kong rap on screen and stuff like that and be sitting in the movie theater singing that,
They could do a direct spin-off of this movie for Donkey Kong with the role he played in it and kind of how that kingdom came to come. They could do a whole origin story of Donkey Kong movie.
That'd be awesome.
I want to see a Too Fast, Too Furious parody with Mario and Luigi playing Paul Walker and Tyrese Gibson roles. That's what I want to see, and it's Super Mario Kart. I think that'd be fantastic. I really like the idea that they could just parody other movies with these characters and slot sort of references of these sort of popular franchises into the world of Nintendo characters, and just have them sort of play these sort of slightly skewed versions of those characters in those franchises. I think that'd be brilliant.
And have all come to a head in a Smash Brothers movie, a Super Smash Brothers movie, their Avengers type movie.
Master Hand coming in and fighting Mario at the end or something, It'd be so cool.
That's all I've got for the general news. Moving on to CinemaCon news, if I can say that properly. That's a tongue tire for me. Across the Spider-Verse from Sony's panel. Takes place 1 year and 4 months into the Spider-Verse. So,
okay, yeah, because he seems he was very much a child, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Whilst in Into the Spider-Verse, and you can tell he's become a young adult now. So yeah, I'm not surprised that it's a fair amount of time afterwards.
Yeah.
And then we talked about Adam Sandberg possibly being the Spider, but director Joaquim Dos Santos on Scarlet Spider is voice actor. I can't wait for people to hear who voices him. It still hasn't been released, but I love our Scarlet Spider actor. Also, it was talked about, and this is earlier, I thought we talked this before, but it's actually in the CinemaCon news. Many cameos are in the movie, with director's favorite cameo being a secret. The cast doesn't even know some of the cameos. So,
yeah, that's cool.
Yep, and they showed 14 minutes of footage at CinemaCon.
Oh wow!
So
Wow.
nothing.
That's released at the end of May, isn't it?
May or June,
or beginning of June. It's
Yeah.
the next few weeks, isn't it? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that one.
The next thing they show was Kraven the Hunter, which now this kind of has my interest now after hearing about this from there. So they showed the trailer for it. So, and the trailer has not been released yet. But what I heard was from things I pulled from Twitter, gritty and bloody. There is cussing, so we get F-bombs. Aaron Taylor Johnson bites a dude's face off and spits it out towards the camera. Holds up the classic costume and even runs on all fours. He's out to be nothing like his dad, looks vicious. Other reports are it's a Predator feel with lots of blood and gore.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you go back to where it's like the original Predator type movie, I'm all in. You know, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, and Carl Weathers and all them, I am in. More reports are the Rhino, I can't talk today. The Rhino will appear. Reportedly, the trailer shows a man injecting something into himself and turning into the Rhino. I hope we get a proper Rhino, not the mechanical BS that we saw in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I want a proper Rhino.
Which is such a shame, too, because what's his name? Paul Giamatti, that was the Rhino in that movie, is such a phenomenal actor. And they just threw him right away in that role of like, it's like, why did you you could have put anybody in that suit, you know?
Yep.
And it like total waste on him, to be honest. But, you know.
And I get where they're going. They were trying to set up the Sinister Six, you know, and, you know, you kind of had three of them there after, and you tease some suits too in that room. So I see what they're going, but yeah, you have to do a proper one. Mm-hmm. Last thing on Kraven, the Hunter will be rated R.
Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you what, this is all of a sudden, just in this last week, I've just gone from being, I'm not interested at all, really, to be honest. The only thing that was making me interested was Aaron Taylor Johnson, because I like him. I think he's cool. And now I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I might be swayed here.
I think the most interesting thing was like a week or two ago, kind of like looking at CinemaCon, they almost had to bring us something because, like, I mean, they pushed this movie back. It's been kind of like delayed. Like, they haven't really told us much about what was going on with it. We don't really have like much knowledge on it. So, like, I mean, when's it come out? It comes out soon, right? Like at the end of this year.
Yeah, so, they gotta start doing some kind of, you know, I'm sure we'll get a trailer. Watch Spider-Verse, possibly a trailer then. Yeah. You know, so.
Yeah, so they got to start doing some promoting now. So,
or maybe the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
so the NBA playoffs are going on right now. From the chat here, I like to see a good Kite Man cameo in a comic book film. To be honest, if it was just a guy being chased in the sky by a hero. Okay.
As Kite Man would say, hell yes.
And then a good movie with blood and detail would be nice. It's been a while. Yeah, if this thing is anything like the first Predator movie, and basically Kraven the Hunter is basically the Predator, I am all in. So I love that Predator film.
Mm-hmm.
Some more WB news here, or now on WB. There was a bunch of stuff. I cut most of the highlights there because there was other stuff that, you know, like other animate stuff and stuff. But WB panel, David Zaslav says Warner Brothers no longer has any interest in doing direct history movies. We are in no rush to bring the movie to the Max, which the Max is the new HBO Max and Discovery combined streaming service now. He also talked about Warner Brothers theatrical film output this year. We were down to 6 movies in a year. This year we're going to do 16 movies, and we want to do more than 20.
Whoa!
So that's ambitious.
That is ambitious.
Yeah. He also said he's seen the Flash movie 3 times already. It's a very emotional movie. To me, it's the best superhero movie I've ever seen. So
that's a statement, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm hoping, like, you know, by seeing all these different elements in there. I mean, Alex, I don't know what you feel about this. Is there a risk that it could be a mess?
Well, see, the thing is this movie is supposed to be a mess, right?
Yeah.
So this
Hey,
movie
right,
is
okay.
supposed to be a mess. So like he goes back in time and he changes something and it creates a mess.
Ah,
So
okay,
the
gotcha.
beauty in this movie is like it doesn't have to make sense because it's all supposed to be like he changes something in the past and then comes back to the future and is like, what has happened? Like this is not what I left, you
Yep.
know, like why is there another version of me here? Like, you know, like, and so it's one of those situations where it's like it doesn't need to be like perfect because it's supposed to be kind of like all messed up and chaos and everything
Gotcha.
like that, you know.
Gotcha. So as
It's-
long as it kind of follows some sort of narrative, it can be a mess, and that's the point.
Like in the comic, like what happens is he goes back and saves his mother and comes to the future, and the Amazons and the Atlanteans are at war with one another, and they're basically destroying all the humans like across the planet that are just like in their way, just in their war with one another.
Mm.
So like they're kind of replacing that with Man of Steel, where Zod comes in and is going to use the World Engine to destroy Earth to make it the new Krypton in essence. And so that's where they've kind of swapped that kind of like apocalyptic event kind of out, I guess.
Yeah, to me, it's like the movie The Butterfly Effect, but if there are multiple Ashton Kutchers in the film,
Yeah.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
What else? He also talked about the remaining 3 DC movies made by the previous regime. They also blaze a trail forward into our DC universe that we're cracking with our next chapter. So that's going to be what Aquaman and
Blue Beetle
Blue Beetle
Flash.
and the Flash, yeah.
Yeah.
The Flash almost included Grant Austin, Marlon Brando, Linda Carter, and other cameos. In response to Dorian Parks, Andy Machete explained why he didn't include Grant Austin. Of course, as I said before, the list of cameos was huge. So obviously we play with the idea of including DC characters from TV, but we just had to pick.
So they did need to include Grant Gustin. I'm so happy that they did not include Grant Gustin. I'm so happy they didn't include any of those other cameos either, because they did that in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it got way too crowded because it was like, hey, let's take all these characters and stick them in for 15 seconds, and then there's a cameo.
There's Ezra.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, that's great that you wanted to do a cameo, but at least make it worth something. And they did that with Ezra, where Grant Gustin meets Ezra Miller, and they're like, hey, look, it's me, it's another Flash, like, but like there's no real like point to it, you know, like it's just like, so
it was a
I
mess.
think it would have been unneeded if they would have put Grant Gustin in this movie, to be fair.
But Linda Carter would have been interesting. I don't know how they would have done Marlon Brando unless they used some old footage or something.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what would have probably happened, was you would see like basically Barry probably run through the Speed Force, and like while he's running, the timelines would flash, and you would see like things like flash by like probably like Linda Carter, you know, as Wonder Woman and everything like that. So
okay. They also confirmed that Beetlejuice 2 is in the works. Now, I'm kind of excited for this one, depending how they do it. Right now, it's unknown if Tim Burton will return to direct. The rumored cast is Jenna Ortega with Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder returning. And the chatter has been, if it's Jenna Ortega, she will be Winona Ryder's daughter.
I mean,
Now, I wonder if...
She almost could be anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if we see Gina Davis and one of the other dead person.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember which. Ago now,
John.
Yeah, he's one of the brothers.
Mm-hmm.
The Baldwin brothers, wasn't he? One of the Baldwin brothers.
Was it? It wasn't. It wasn't Alec, was it?
No.
Let me find out. Carry on.
All right. But anyways, we're going from the chat here. Wait, Beetlejuice 2, I'm iffy on that. As long as they can pull the nostalgia in and do a continuation, not a reboot, and bring in that same kind of stuff, I'm okay with it.
It feels like Jenna Ortega is a complete typecast there based on Wednesday. You know, like, I mean, like, I feel like they're like, hey, she did great as Wednesday. Like, let's make Beetlejuice 2 and make her like one of the main characters. So
it was Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
So it won't be him.
Yeah.
He won't be in it.
I doubt Gina Davis will return then either. Maybe they'll start with her being a mother, with Winona Ryder's character being a mother, and going forward with that. So Paramount news: Transformer: Rise of the Beast, and that trailer was released. And I'm telling you right now, I am pumped because we were getting a proper Unicron in the film from the trailer shots. Not the BS one that we got with when Mark Wahlberg was in Transformers. We're actually getting a proper Unicron. The only thing that I didn't like with the trailer is that they're using the Beast instead of the Junkions. I want to see proper Junkions, because Junkions are one of the best parts of the cartoon Transformers the movie, were the Junkions.
See, I
Yeah.
think it's so funny. I hate Transformers, and I cannot stand those movies. One of the only scenes that I like is that scene where Shia LaBeouf comes running out and he's like, "Bumblebee!" and he busts out of the garage and like starts taking out those little machines. But like, yeah, like this movie having them like change into Beast and stuff, I was like, huh, I might have to go see a Transformers movie because like suddenly I'm like, I'm in, you know, like.
And it looks
But
like you see the Insecticons too in the trailer shots. So
mhm.
Yeah, this movie is a totally different flavor, I think, from what we've seen so far, because this is set in a different universe or a different timeline as well.
yes, but it's going to be tied to a movie though, and I'll talk about that when you're done.
Just gonna be tied to Bumblebee, yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. So it's going to be tied to Bumblebee and not the ones that we've seen, not the other Michael Bay
Nope.
ones. Which, to be fair, I think we was talking about this the other week, and I said I quite enjoyed the first one. I think the first one was actually quite good. I think they balanced that kind of humor and awkwardness and cool visuals and story quite well. And then I think it just started getting a bit silly. But this could be great. You know, this could be great. Some of the robots, some of the Transformers look brilliant, and yeah, and like you say, Unicron looks incredible.
And it's interesting. I wonder if we'll see any of the Dinobots, because you're saying Rise of the Beast. You got to have Dinobots, right? You know, they kind of did Dinobots already in the Michael Bay film, but come on.
Mm-hmm.
From the chat here, going back to Beetlejuice, I just don't see Beetlejuice working well with modern world and the political scene of the world. Yeah, it depends on how they do it. You know, they probably can't touch on some things, but who knows? Back to Rise of the Beast. It picks up in Brooklyn in 1994. Not too long after Bumblebee. Director Stephen Capel Jr. Says they shot in Iceland, New York, on top of volcanoes all over. And it looks like Anthony Ramos is in this film, who is going to be the Hood in Ironheart.
Ironheart, yeah.
Looks like he's the main character in this film. More Transformers news. Chris Hemsworth will voice a young Optimus Prime, and Brian Tyree Henry will voice a young Megatron in Transformers 1. So this is going to be a new animated film, which is kind of interesting to see these voices, because those iconic voices of Megatron and Optimus Prime, and the movies did it pretty well. So them changing actors, I'm going to see how this pans out. The film will be an origin tale. And the full cast released so far is that Chris Hemsworth, Optimus Prime, Brian Tyree Henry's Megatron. So basically we have Thor and we have Phastos. Scarlett Johansson is voicing Alita, Black Widow. Keegan-Michael Key is Bumblebee. John Hamm is Sentinel Prime. Lawrence Fishburne is Alpha Trion. So
I'm so confused over Chris Hemsworth as Prime, and Tyree as Megatron. I'm kind of sitting there going, how's that going to work?
yeah,
I don't quite understand. I mean, I don't doubt their quality as actors or even as voice actors. I don't know, but I can't hear it.
yeah, I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
The film is going to be a prequel film about the origins of the conflict between the Autobots and Decepticon, which is a cool concept. I just need to hear the voices, because we've all grown up with those iconic voices.
Yeah.
The movies have had those iconic voices still play through them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Here's something that Andy will like. Can we get a movie from the Decepticon side? Because if they did an origin story, it would show how the Autobots were the reason their planet died. That's a great point.
Yeah, I've said before, Darth Gorokon, I think you might have heard me say it. I'd love to see movies from more movies from the villain sides, having them as the protagonists and having the heroes or the good guys as the antagonists. I think that'd be just something totally different.
And the last thing from Paramount, A Quiet Place Day 1 will be set in New York and will focus on Lupita Nyong'o as a mother trying to survive the alien invasion. So they're making more A Quiet Place movies.
And did you say day one as well? So that's the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I love the beginning of all those kind of things. I think that's the best phase for me.
Most chaotic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those first few days,
The
The
world's
Last-
burning down. You know.
Yeah. It's just brilliant. Like The Last of Us was great. The show was
I have to
brilliant.
watch that still.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. But for me, the best part about it was the first episode and watching, like you say, as the world's burning down. It was great to see that World War Z. The first 15 minutes of that movie is just insane. Love it. Love all that stuff.
Even Sweet Tooth. Now that Sweet Tooth season 2 is out on Netflix, Sweet Tooth showing how things went awry, and then I've watched the whole season. So this weekend, pretty much, my wife and I watched the whole season. And if you haven't watched it yet, I'm not going to spoil anything, but they do fill some pieces together, and it's a really good season. And it looks like we're going to get a third season. So
Cool.
so if you haven't watched it, and if you don't know, that's also a comic book / graphic novel origins. So
Sweet Tooth.
Yep.
Sweet Tooth. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like not DC, but I think it's like one of the publishers that's underneath DC or something.
Yeah.
So
Another for the chat here. Just putting it out there, a movie about The Last of Us and the beginning of the outbreak. That'd be a good one. I like those outbreak ones.
Yeah, that's what. Yes, exactly what I was just saying. I don't know. How not how they would make it original. I mean, I don't know how many times you could see that. A lot of whole movie. Could you see a whole movie? You never really see a whole movie about it, do you? You just see parts of it.
I mean, you could do it like Outbreak style. The Outbreak.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good film. So
that was a good film. Yeah, that was a good film. Yeah, no, it can be done.
Another from the chat here. I'm not so big on Samoa Joe playing Sweet Tooth. He looks like nothing like the game Sweet Tooth, which I haven't played the game. There's a game?
I don't know.
No, neither do I.
So, yeah, but that's it for today. Unless anything else we want to talk about. We're actually under an hour today. So
nice and tight today. Nice and tight.
Yeah,
it won't be long. We'll have far more content coming out in the next sort of couple of months. I think we're going to be inundated with lots of new comic book movies and shows, and we've got lots of stuff coming up. So and as you said, next time we're on the stream, we're going to be talking about the latest Marvel movie. We're going to be talking about Guardians 3. That's going to be fun. We've got Secret Invasion, we've got Flash, we've got Blue Beetle. We've got lots of stuff coming up. So yeah, we're going to have lots of stuff to talk about. Where can they find us, Jaren?
You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, the Facebook page, the Facebook groups in Trovo. You can catch the live streams there. Sometimes on Instagram, we do put some of the recorded streams depending on their length. On Instagram, depending on their length. And so, yeah, that's where you can catch us out. Again, if you're watching us on Twitter, make your way over to one of the other platforms if you want to be included in the chat.
Superb. Lads, it's been a pleasure. Take care. Thanks for watching.
See you guys later.